Hello, friends, and welcome to the PowHERful podcast. I'm your host, AJ McCord. In this podcast, we introduce you to powerful women who are changing the game in and outside of their field of play. These are women's stories, women who happen to be doing things that many of us can only dream of, but the lessons and inspiration they share is universal.
Welcome back to the PowHErful podcast. I'm your host, AJ McCord, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be sitting with four of my absolute favorite girlies in the world, and they happen to be some of the best surfers on the planet. We're all together because they have a brand new film coming out called Nowadays. So we're going to go down the line and give some intros because I'm going to try and sum up everything that you've done in all of 10 seconds. So Erin Brooks, she's known as the Young Gun, 18 years old, from Canada, one of the best up-and-coming surfers on the planet, competing on the championship tour. Katie Simmers from San Diego, California, so fellow San Diegan. She's a world champ, and her style on the waves is so freaking fun to watch. Speaking of fun to watch, we've got Molly Picklum, another world champ. Here she is, the Aussie, the independent, and she brings so much joy, so much fire to her surfing. And then, last but certainly not least, we have the reigning Olympic gold medalist. Please give it up for Caroline Marks, also a world champ. Wow. And that's all of, that's 1% of your accomplishments. But I want to start first with talking about how we're all in this room together, because Nowadays is not your average women's surf movie. So Caroline, I understand you were the instigator to bring all of these girls together, and we're missing Sky Brown and Sierra Kerr also in the film. So Caroline, how did this project come together?
I'm gonna say she. That's real.
That is it. That's her as a personality. She would have said, and it's together. I'm not. Also known as gold medalist.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super fun to be here. As you know, Red Bull, they're very project driven. They're always like, what can we do that no one's done before, and what kind of ideas do you guys have? And I remember I was still in the middle of my season 2023, and this all women surf felt is what it is. It's really something that I wanted to do for a very long time. I think it's been a lot of girls' passions, but it's just so hard to do it. It sounds simple, I'll get everyone together and surf, but it's actually really difficult because it's you're going all around the world. Our schedules are crazy, and we're also all each other's biggest rivals. So some people just don't even want to do that, So I kind of said, this is something that I really want to do. I kind of was struggling with it personally because I was just always very contest driven. I just was I just want to win the world title. That was just my main focus. And I actually pitched this idea before any of that happened. So it was a bit of a risk because, as we all know now, this project's been so much work. It's been great because now we're enjoying the fruits of our labor, but it has been a lot of work. I just said, look, the women's sports in general is just on fire, but women's surfing is on fire. And it's funny, I pitched this idea, and as it's happened, I won the world title, Katie won the world title, and then Molly won the world title. Everything just happened, and we're all in the Olympics together. So this just all happened while doing this film. And so the time was just so, originally the name was The Time Was Now, because I just kept saying that, all the time is now, and I think Nowadays is so fitting. But yeah, I just wanted to celebrate how cool women in sports is and how cool women's surfing is, and really shine a light on that. And yeah, it's been super cool. And we're all still still going, or I believe we're still going into the prime of our careers. We're some of us aren't even 20 yet, and Molly and I are 23, 24. We got so much time, and it's just so cool. So yeah, it's been really fun to make this project. It's been a lot of work, but I don't think anything anything good comes that easy. So it's been super fun, and we've all really gotten to know each other, and it's been awesome.
So Caroline, you mentioned just some of the incredible history that the three of you in particular have written. Erin, no doubt, is coming for all of your world titles, so watch out. But Molly and Katie in particular, because I think one of the moments that stands out to me in women's surfing in the last few years is that pipeline showdown. And Katie, what did you say after you won?
Oh, pipelines for the girls.
That's exactly. You can curse on this podcast if you feel like it.
Pipelines for the fucking girls.
And that's exactly right. You guys obviously travel around the world together for the tour every year. But like you were saying, Caroline, the competition vibe is so different than when you're making a surf film, where it's so much more collaborative, so much more fun. Molly, for you, what do you think has been your favorite part about making the film with these women and then Sierra and Sky too?
Yeah, I mean, what a rad cast we kind of got going here. It's pretty crazy. And I think you see it on everyone's faces when like Caroline said, it's so hard to get all us girls together because we're all achieving so much in our own little ways. But yes, we're all in the same industry, but it's just like you seal heal spaces when we all get in the same room that is like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? And I think it's really cool because as much as we are rivals and competitors, we're all pretty good friends and can have a really good laugh. So I think my most like valuable kind of take out of this whole film is definitely just hanging out with the girls.
It's so good.
It's just so fun.
It's so fun. And it's cool because for like my job, right, I get a chance to interview you all in the World Surf League, but then I also get to see women's sports in so many other avenues. And it really is something that we're seeing across so many sports, but surfing is so unique in a million different ways. But Katie, for you, what do you think is like, as we've seen women's surf films before, right? We've seen Girls Can't Surf. We've seen Blue Crush, forgive me. We've seen, all these other women's surf films. But what is it about this one that really elevates that tone of like collaboration and girlhood and pushing each other in the water?
I mean, I think, that was a good question. But I think, I mean, I've always been super into like surf films. And I think like what makes this awesome is the fact that we kind of are all on the same team with Red Bull and we have that support. And I think that was just a great way to get us all together, like on say to do a surf film. But then it ended up being like we all went on that first trip to Indo, and I feel like we were all like staying in the same room. Like it was like 6 girls, 1 room, 1 bathroom, and we were just like dancing and giggling around like every night. And I think that was like the highlight for me. And I feel like after that, we were all just like, oh, we're just like, this is really fun. And I think that like is what got us all excited for the film. Because at first I was like, oh, Red Bull film, like,
Yeah, just like another thing.
I wonder if it's like gonna be cool because I don't know. You never know.
Whether you're actually going to enjoy doing the project or if it's like, just doing it. Yeah, well, like the films you were mentioning with the Girls Can't Surf and Blue Crush, I think it's pretty cool because all of those are stating like things that they went through and the path that's been set out. And it's kind of like our films, like that has happened and now our days look like this. And I think that's a real telltale to what those females have done for us. And it's like, now we're just taking that and running with it. And I think that film's like the next timestamp. It's showing that next step. And I think it really, like, through the film, it comes out, right?
For sure. For us, like, our timing was just really good. Like, the generations before us paved this way for us. And I think this film, like, we try to, like, it's our job now to kind of pave that way for the next generation and just pushing that level. And, there's such a bright future for surfing and women's surfing and women's sports in general. But it's funny you're saying, like, the favorite part about this film. And I think I was telling you before, but I was like, I already know everyone surfs good. Like, people see that a lot. It's more like, the sisterhood and us, like, hanging out and surfing such a cutthroat individual sport that to get us all together and actually just being human for a second is just, like, it highlights that. And it's really cool. Like, and we don't get that. So for us to be together, it's like, we're actually like, this is so fun. We almost feel like more of a team because on the road, you don't really feel like that. You're trying to beat each other all year. So it's pretty fun. It's really different. And as Katie mentioned, that first trip, like, we literally, like, memories we'll never forget. It's so fun.
First I'm crazy about Blazel. But it's a good timestamp. I actually really started, even sitting here, it's like really, I'm really appreciating all the movies and that hours and where it's positioned. Like, it's a real timestamp for what's happening when surfing.
And I think it's a really cool timestamp for women's sports because I feel like, so even when I was a competitive gymnast, right, it really was this like competition. And like, you're not friends with your opponents. And then I move into broadcasting and it's like, so often you're sort of like forced into this belief that you're competing against the woman next to you for X, Y, and Z spot. And obviously in competition you are, but like, you would be led to believe that like you're competing for sponsorships, you're competing for all of these extra things that make it so that you can surf for a living outside of contests. But Erin, now you're a part of this group that is like redefining how women can move through competitive surfing together. And you're so early in your career. What has been your biggest takeaway of hanging out with, the world champs, the gold medalists, all the things as you pave your own way?
Yeah, it's been so fun to get to hang out with the girls that I've looked up to for so long. I admire what they do so much. And like they said, just getting to go on trips together and having fun out of that competitive aspect and just surf has been sick.
What's been one of the memories for you, Erin, in these surf trips that have been captured for nowadays that you're like, oh, this is going to be a lifelong memory. This is going to be one I come back to that you can share?
I went to Macaroni's with Caroline for like 2 weeks, and we're just like scoring really fun waves every day. So that was really fun.
We had a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they got set on trip, 2 of them alone.
Okay, let me just clarify.
They didn't want to go.
They didn't want to go.
Bro, 2 weeks after you win the title, I was impressed you went on the other one after.
Who cares? We freaking out. We're all right there with you at the same schedule.
No, I know, but I just meant in general. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm so impressed.
Like, just to clarify, like, Indonesia coming from California, it's closer to Australia, too.
This is what she is thinking about this right now. To just like make me look even
I
worse.
said, no, but to be fair, we obviously travel year round, and then
It shows a commitment.
it's a very far, and also too, the thing about our sport, like, there's no court, there's no field. It's you can spend all the money and all the time in the world and get all the people together, but you still can't guarantee getting good waves, and so it's always a risk, So obviously, yeah, traveling to Indonesia is like the farthest place ever. Like, you're on the boat ride going, why am I doing this again? But then now you look at the film and you're like, that was so worth it. Yeah.
If I was a goofy footer, I would have gone.
Oh, whatever.
For those who don't understand that reference, Katie, because we have a lot of women's sports fans, why would being a goofy footer versus a regular footer have made a difference for that?
Oh, well, I just feel like the first trip we got mostly right, so then it makes sense how we're like, Caroline wanted to go get.
Well, no.
She's like a goofy footer is first
So far in that way.
Like as Shamba loves going forehand.
It's also the most perfect left in the world.
In general, though, like, it was just obviously it takes its sacrifice in order to go ahead and like that saves a lot of time and stuff. But but Aaron and I had a great time.
That brings me to kind of the why. Like, why did you guys all feel like it was so important to be a part of a film like this? Because Molly, you've talked about like this is a timestamp. This is something that 10 years from now, 10-year-olds who are going to watch this film when it comes out in May, they're going to be like, oh, that can be my future.
Yeah.
Like, Aaron, for you, what is the why of like why you wanted to be in this film and why it's so important to showcase this?
Yeah, like you said, it's really important for the future. I remember there was a Nike girls surf movie, it's called Leave a Message, and it has like Chris Moore, Lakey Peterson, Coco Ho, a bunch of like of the older girls. They're not old, but they're like older than us. But I'd watch it every day.
Watch yourself.
Of my generation, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but I'd watch it every day, like before I'd go surfing, just to like hype me up. Seeing girls pushing themselves, that was like kind of the first time people ever saw girls doing airs and things like that. And now to be like competing with them on tour, it's like kind of crazy how that happened. And for them too, they've been on tour longer than me, but like having Carissa, Lakey, Steph this year, it's like awesome.
Yeah, this year's gonna be stacked.
Yeah.
If you guys are not tuned into the World Surf League's Championship Tour, you need to. Starts in April, and there's so many incredible female surfers in it. Male surfers as well. But yeah, well, sheesh, it's gonna be good. It's probably gonna be fun. Yeah, Carissa and Steph returning. You got like what?
And they team
world titles, like
at their heels.
So I want to talk about the at their heels because it's so wild to think of like competitive surfing for the women has grown even in the last 5 years. Like Pipeline was not a women's contest on the CT until after COVID. Like it's been 2 seconds that Pipeline's been on tour. And yet Katie and Molly, you're back and forth that year at Pipeline where it was barrel, barrel, barrel. You and I did an interview before finals and I'm like, what's the plan to reset? And you're like, barrels for lunch. Yeah, that's what I want. Guys are sprinting down the beach because you're the half an hour. Katie, I know you're a barrel hunter and it's one of the favorite things. But for people who maybe can't conceptualize why it's so important in surfing for women to get the chance at waves like Pipe, at waves like Chopes, at waves like Cloud Break, what kind of ceiling does that shatter to have those competitions there after so many years?
I think putting a competitions at places like that, like high risk waves or like really scary waves, is I think it just like puts the expectation there rather than like if there's not a competition there, then it's like, oh, if the highest level of girls aren't there, then why would we have to do that? So I think that's why I think it's the coolest thing about it, is it just pushes like all girls, like whether they like put the emphasis on competition or just getting barreled. Like there's always going to be like the girls obsessed with getting better, that get better, whether there's a competition or not. But I think now it's just like, all right, well, if you want to like be a pro surfer on the CT, you're gonna have to freaking send yourself over the ledge on a like scary wave.
Like them putting the competitions there for sure raise the bar.
And that's the thing about like, I mean, I see, because like even for most of us when we qualified, like we didn't even have, I mean, I know when I qualified for the tour, like there was no pipeline or cloud rake or choku, like until I was like years on the tour. So I think that's why like this like next generation's going to be so gnarly, is because it's like, they already see that and they're like, oh, that's just normal. Like for us, it wasn't really normal. Like we're just figuring it out as we
Yes, I do that.
yeah, like we're kind of just getting thrown into like just deep water, and you got to like learn how to swim kind of thing, where like what the other girls are like, oh, this is super normal. And it's been really fun, just to like, we kind of just been forced in the situation, but that's what the sport needed, and that was so good for it. But now it feels normal. Now it's like, oh yeah, you're going pipeline, you're serving cloud break, and it's just like,
Yeah, fairly.
and now it's just like a normal thing, which is crazy. But obviously, even 5 years ago, it was like, oh, whoa, like now pipes on the schedule is
Totally.
yeah.
And I remember talking to Lakey, and she was like, that's the greatest challenge of my athletic career.
Which is coming towards crazy.
To go from, I have never had to surf at pipe, I've never had to surf at cloud break, and so why would I spend the time, why would I spend the money? Because the thing is, and I think, Molly, you were mentioning it, like, you don't have a court, you have like a specific like practice time, right? So when you're going out to try and get waves at pipe, at Teahopo, at cloud break, like insert crazy name here, you're having to compete against everybody else in the water who can just be out there.
Yeah.
What was it like to be in a lineup with just the 6 of y'all? Like, tell me what those vibes were like and how they're different than just like going out to pipe on a barreling day.
It's crazy still in women's surfing and on those waves of consequence. Everybody's learning like on the fly, live in front of people's eyes. And I think that's what's really interesting, and what's, I think, bringing a lot of fans is like, well, these girls are progressing so quick. But then it was fun, we went to Indo and it was just like fun ways just to kind of kick back and enjoy each other's company and just be a bit more comfortable, but then like pushing each other in a different realm. I think Mother Nature was pushing us a lot on tour with these like waves of consequence, but then to go hang in the girls and just get riverable fun waves was like, it's like you take a seat back to just like relax, but then like they're all ripping, so you're like, shit, okay, back up.
Well, and it's crazy because like, I think, Katie, you were telling me a few years ago at pipe that like you'd been there for 2 weeks and you hadn't gotten hardly a wave in all of your sessions at pipe because it's so hard.
Dude, that's so
to like get a wave.
Right.
And so then you're in a heat and you're like, cool, I've been in this lineup for 2 weeks sitting here on my board, but like now I have to go out and try and win a contest. That seems like such a foreign concept for people who don't understand surfing.
You don't even try. Like, you don't even get to practice.
Like, how do you practice? How do you get better?
Well, that's what, when like Molly was saying, you're like learning on the fly. Most of the time, your first chance, on that trip is in your heat, and you're just like, all right, like I just got to kind of go for it. And that's what's super interesting for someone that might not, know about surfing. It's like, you're fully like, there's no like court that's like, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna like practice this.
Let me reserve the time.
Right. Yeah. That's none of that. And that's like part of our sport. And yeah, the ocean's the great equalizer. Like, it's always throwing stuff at you, and you just got to adapt at all times.
But it's like the best opportunity when you're in the heat, because there's like the jet skis and like everyone's watching you.
Yeah.
And I feel like you get more motivated to send it when you like know that.
You should see her always light up. The water clears and then the jet skis, and she gets her action and she's just like, oh, I swear that's what you were doing. And remember the Pipe Masters, you were just like sending it.
Katie, how have you noticed lineups changing since you first started surfing with the addition of more women in the lineup, more women showcasing on the WSL, in free riding, like these big waves? Like, how have you noticed lineups changing?
How's Waimea? And we're arguing us like a bunch of girls. That was sick.
Yeah, like, so Waimea is a big wave that is not on the CT, but Molly and Katie just went out and synced it.
She said it. I should pull back on that way. But anyways, the reason I'm bringing it up though is because I put it out and I was surprised how many chicks. It was like half and half, and I don't think that's only recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like normal now.
Growing up in San Diego, I would surf with my dad all the time, and it was me. But yeah, I was the only girl in the lineup, and this is just like your average break at San Diego. So I'm curious, Katie, like growing up in Oceanside and seeing all of that, how is it changed?
Yeah, it's definitely changed since I was younger. But I also think, I don't know if it's 50-50. I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration because whenever I'm surfing,
a bit more.
and the way are like good at home, it's kind of like there's definitely times I just go in because there's too much like masculine energy, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna paddle in right now. There's definitely like times where I'm like, see a bunch of girls out, and it's like the coolest thing ever. Like
I feel like it's like the
tight.
older guys that are still like trying to like hold down the like masculine energy, but like some of the younger guys are like kinder to us girls. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I think it's like it's just what's established at lineups a lot.
They have a point, like, as in, no matter where you go, it changes. Sometimes it'll be 50-50, sometimes it'll be like,
You're the
you've
only
still got to
girl.
break those like set precedent ways of like how it used to be. But I think I guess the energy though, it's not just about being outnumbered, it's what they bring. Like sometimes, yes, you still get that like, I mean, everyone's hungry for a wave. You got to understand that, male or female, you're always looking over the edge being like, are they going to make it?
Yeah.
Typically, yes, they would look at a female as a weak link and be like, they're not going to make it. I want this wave. So then there's this whole like, you've got to break that to then hopefully like people don't come and just hassle your waves. But I think all these females and the higher the female level, the less like someone's just going to assume that female will surf. Like for sure now, I watch people and give people I see people give people the benefit of the doubt.
Sick.
More than not these days.
I will.
But like, it's just the nature of our sport. If you're a weak link, yes, you kind of get like trod on because there's a lot of surfers. There's only minimal waves. People are hungry. And I think, I don't know, there's like a level of respect to that gal as well. Like it's a part of our sport.
Yeah. So the last question I have for you guys is, this is the PowHERful podcast. So we highlight a bunch of powerful, badass women like yourselves. What does PowHERful mean to you? Caroline, I'll start with you.
Doing anything at 100%, and like, you know, along the way, like I think we've all, you know, there's been times where we've all, I'm sure, like doubted ourselves or someone's doubted you, and I think just like breaking through that and having self-belief and
Like a forcefully recognition.
yeah, just going like pedal to the metal, like I'm doing this and I believe in myself. I think that is really powerful, and having the courage is, yeah, that's really cool.
I love that.
She said like 4 things, so I think she covered it for all of us.
No, you're not getting out of that.
I think what Caroline said there, being all in, like pedal to the metal, making yourself, like if you want something, no matter what, you can always go for it. And I think that is the powerful message, and that is being powerful. I love when I see someone that's just purely themselves and just go after it with no reason and no like fear of just like, let's go.
I love it.
That's powerful to me.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I think power is just leaning towards the direction that your heart's going, and despite like what the world or like the expectation you might feel from like everything else, and just ignoring that.
I feel like you represent that really.
She really does. I agree.
But yeah,
For me, it's probably surrounding yourself with powerful people who lift you up. And for me, that's all these girls.
Oh, I love that. And on that note, thank you for being here. Nowadays, coming out in May, and check these girls on the WSLCT. I'm up in April. That was chaos. I loved it. See you next time.